If you feel like stress hits harder than it used to, like things that never bothered you before suddenly feel overwhelming, you're not imagining it. Midlife stress just hits so much differently. You might notice that you're more reactive, more anxious, more emotionally exhausted, even though you're doing everything you can to hold it together. And that can be really confusing, especially if you've always been someone who handled stress well. So, today I want to talk about why stress feels so much heavier in midlife and what actually helps to calm your nervous system so that your body and your brain can finally exhale. And if you're nodding along to this, you're definitely not alone. I hear this from women all the time. And it's usually not one big thing, but a lot of little stuff. Like you're more irritable with that you want to be, like you're snapping at your partner or your kids, and then you feel guilty. You're losing your patience faster. You feel behind at work or just scattered. And that starts to be really unfamiliar. And then you start wondering, why can't I handle things the way I used to? So let's talk about what is actually happening inside your body during midlife that makes these changes feel heavier and why nervous system regulation is now essential. So, one of the biggest shifts that happens in perimenopause is with progesterone. Progesterone is one of your most calming hormones, and it has a grounding effect on your nervous system. It helps you feel steady, resilient, and emotionally buffered. But progesterone is often the first hormone that declines when we enter perimenopause. So when it starts dropping, that natural calming layer starts to thin out. The same stressors that you used to manage just fine get louder, heavier, and more intense. That doesn't mean that you're more emotional. It means your nervous system has less built-in support than it used to. On top of that, number two, your cortisol response changes. Cortisol is your main stress hormone, and in midlife, it tends to spike faster and tends to stay elevated longer, especially if you're skipping meals, under eating, over exercising, not sleeping well, or juggling constant responsibilities. You're already stressing your body out if you can check off any of those boxes. And when cortisol stays high, your body stays in fight or flight. And when your body doesn't feel safe, everything feels harder because your mood, your sleep, your digestion, your cravings, even your ability to think clearly all take a nosedive. And a stressed body just doesn't heal well. It doesn't lose weight easily and it doesn't rest deeply. So you can see how this all starts to compound. Then there's the part that we really don't talk about enough, that midlife is often a high demand season. You might be managing a career, kids, teenagers, aging parents, financial stress, identity shifts all at once. So your nervous system has never been designed to live in this constant output mode without recovery. But when there's no margin built in, no rest, no rhythm, no refueling, your body starts to send louder and louder distress signals. Things like anxiety, irritability, poorer sleep, stress eating, feeling that wired but tired, these are not personality flaws. This is your nervous system sending you an SOS. So if any of this sounds familiar, you're not broken. Your nervous system is just dysregulated and it needs support. So you don't have to overhaul your life to regulate your nervous system, but you do need to start with small, consistent changes to get it going. Now, one of the simplest things you can do is through rhythm. Yes, rhythm. Your nervous system loves predictability. So, eating at regular time intervals, going to bed around the same time every night, waking up around the same time, getting sunlight in the morning right when you wake up. These things sound super basic, but they're incredibly powerful. They tell your body, I am safe, I am supported, I have a predictable schedule, I don't need to be in high alert. Another big one is slowing down before you eat. If you're rushing through meals or eating on the go, your body stays in a stressed out state. Even taking 3 slow breaths before you start eating can really shift you into that rest and digest mode. And you'll notice that not only does your digestion improve, you'll have less gas and bloating, but your blood sugar gets more stable and you're just going to feel calmer overall. Movement matters as well, but not in the way that you're often taught. I don't mean like go kill yourself at the gym or, do a crazy incline on the treadmill. You want movement that helps you regulate your stress, not add to it. So things like walking at a steady pace, strength training with slow and controlled movements, Pilates, yoga, these can support your metabolism while calming your nervous system. More intensity is not always better at this age, because our bodies are already in such a stressed out state. So this is where I'm really big on listening to your body and see what works better for you. And one of the most overlooked pieces of nervous system regulation is simply eating enough. I think women in their 40s and 50s are just notorious for dieting. It's the culture that we grew up in. So we are really big proponents of under eaters. We're using those MyFitnessPal apps and those calorie trackers, and they all tell you to go to 1,200 calories or something incredibly low. But under eating is actually one of the fastest ways to keep cortisol high. It is such a stressor on your body. So I'm going to encourage you to balance your meals with protein, carbs, fats that signal safety. And like I said before, eat at consistent intervals. So try to have a meal maybe every 4 hours or so. So that way your body feels nourished, your nervous system can settle, and there is no more fight or flight going on. So remember, if stress feels hard right now, it's not because you're doing life wrong. Your body's just asking for a different kind of support, one that honors the season that you're in instead of trying to push through it. So this is actually one of the main reasons I created the Midlife Metabolism Collaborative, which is opening soon. Because midlife stress isn't just a mindset issue, it's hormones, nutrition, sleep, blood sugar, movement, and nervous system regulation all working together. Inside the collaborative, we focus on calming the nervous system as one of the first things in my process, all while supporting your metabolism and your hormones in a way that is realistic, compassionate, and sustainable. So if you have been feeling overwhelmed or reactive or like you're carrying too much alone, the space was literally created for you. If that resonates, make sure you're on the wait list for the collaborative. The link is going to be down in the show notes. So that way you can be the first to know when the doors open and get some special bonuses. Now, as you go into this week, be gentle with yourself. Try one small thing to change your body a little bit, feel a little bit safer, and see how it responds. You are not broken, you're just adapting. I will see you in the next video.